All right, finally getting to some additional thoughts for Jeffrey by Young Thug. I've been pretty behind the curve due to a lot of reasons. I won't rant about them right now. And I think the best way to start off this additional thoughts is to go, what? Best ad lib. Best ad lib. I did a terrible job of trying to impersonate it just now. I didn't commit because I didn't want to yell into the microphone. I should have scooted back and did it. But true story about this ad lib. I was playing the album. I think it was last weekend. I had the album on. I was just doing something on the computer, and my wife was sitting there, as she does. You guys don't know that because it's off screen. And she was reading her book, and seemingly, floating hand, seemingly not really paying any attention to anything, right? Just reading. And Swizz Beatz comes on, which I really enjoy. And the ad lib comes through. Not the first time he does it, the second time. The second time he really cranks on it. And she just starts laughing. And I'm like, are you laughing at the song? She's like, yeah, that was great. Like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Great ad lib. Swizz Beatz. I don't know which is my favorite. I really like Guap. Swizz Beatz is great, of course. I like Kanye West too. I don't know why, but on that song when it's, I'll mimic it poorly, right? And then Jeffrey in the background. Just that little bit. I was thinking about it today. Why do I enjoy that so much? And I was like, it's just like carbonation in the brain, in the ears. Just this little fizzy, bubbly feeling that you get from that portion of the song. Pick Up the Phone's good too. Overall, though, really what I was thinking about the last couple days as I was wrapping up my time with this album to prepare for this, I was thinking, is this the best trap album I've heard? And for a while I was like, it might be, and then I realized, nope. There's one thing where it misses, and for me, it's in general the lyrical content. I won't rant and rave about that. You guys have heard me complain about it. I don't need to do it again. I think for me, if this album had a little bit more depth / variety lyrically, this would be probably my favorite trap album. It's amazing. It's really, really good. I love Young Thug. This is the second album I've heard from him now. I love what he does with his voice. And he is a great example of the concept of the voice as an instrument, vocals as an instrument. So I was really on the fence, and then I started thinking, okay, well, what is my favorite trap album? I was like, I don't know. I remember a couple months back we were talking about something in Discord, and I put on Rodeo to listen to it again because it'd been a while. I was like, Rodeo is really fucking good. But I did realize also when it got to the end, the last 3 or 4 songs, I really don't care about. Rodeo's got a little bit of a longer run time. So the last 3 or 4 I could throw away. On this one, for me personally, the only one I skip is Future Swag, strictly because of the lyrics. That's it. I just get bored of him saying, fuck on your baby mama 25 times, whatever. Then I was like, all right, well, I remember putting on DS2 again somewhat recently because the first time I sat down with it and did my reaction and spent my time with it, I wasn't really into it. But then when I listened to it again, a year later, I was like, oh, actually, this is really good as well. Monster's good as well. Life of Pierre 4 is amazing, of course. So I don't know what my favorite trap album is. I really enjoyed Astroworld also. But what is cool for me is it's taken me a while to warm up to trap. But Young Thug, along with some of the other albums that I mentioned just now, has really pulled me into it. It's just this one, Jeffrey's great. I can see why so many people talk about Jeffrey. I remember when I posted the picture up on Twitter, saying I was going to do it that day, listen to it, and people were literally top 3 favorite all-time album ever. Yeah, man. I mean, I could see that. It is just great. It really is great. I love to. I think it's Harambe, where he's really putting the strain on his voice. It's just cool to listen to Young Thug. I mean, it's really all there is to it. I'm going to say that for 5 or 6 minutes straight. How much variety, versatility, spontaneity Young Thug puts in his vocals. It's just so cool. And then the production, man, I love the production as well. That's all my notes are. Voice is an instrument. Production's incredible. Vocals incredible. Favorite tracks. Oh, did I touch on that? I did. Swizz Beatz, Guap. Webby, Kanye West, Pick Up the Phone's good too. That one actually kind of, when I was writing down my list, I don't know why, but I wasn't like paying attention on the last song, but then today when I listened to it a couple times, I was like, oh yeah, this one's really good too. So really, one skip, and the skip is strictly lyrics. That's it. So I mean, that's me just being kind of picky, kind of old, kind of cranky about it, right? Like there were a lot of times I noticed when I listened to the album and I just listened to it like 70%. I don't really pay attention to what he's saying. I love how it sounds, love the energy it gives off, the vibe, etc. So I mean, really, all I'm trying to say is my one complaint is really just me. It's not the album itself. I know he's got a couple more albums. What is it, like Bigger Thugger Girls or something like that? There's one like that, and I guess there's another one. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But definitely more Young Thug reactions coming in the future. I have been seeing two online little bits here and there. I guess the trial that he's involved with is kind of winding up, but I saw something about maybe there's a potential mistrial, although that was a couple days ago. That's probably already old news. I have no idea what has happened this week. But just kind of interesting that it's popping up while I'm listening to the album and exploring more of his music. I guess that's it. Pretty short, pretty sweet, pretty much a good summary for the album itself. Jeffrey, man, just a lot of fun. A lot of fun to listen to. I think that's another thing I really enjoy about the vibe of this is it uses some lighter notes and it kind of stays up in a more of a, I want to necessarily say like a happier tune, but it doesn't get too wrapped up in sounding like hardcore or badass. It just sounds good, And that can mean a lot of different things. But sometimes I feel like with some of these artists, with some of these albums, it's almost like they get wrapped up in trying to build up this persona of themselves inside of the album, which, I mean, makes sense, especially for certain albums. But with Jeffrey and his nature, in the playfulness that exists within his voice and how much he does vocally, I feel like if the music shifted over into like a heavier sound, a more serious sound, it would clash a bit. It wouldn't float and bounce around like it does right now. And Jeffrey, man, the whole album is just that. A little floating around, bouncing around. Okay, there you go. That's it. There are my thoughts. And yeah, take care. We'll see you soon.